This is the one who was with the Empress when she died. Poisoned. Tivian stuff.
Amateur work. He'll live.
That's up to Dowd.
I know a great deal, bodyguard. I recognize those marks on your hand. A gift from your friend. The one who talks to you in the dark. Talks to you when you visit his shrines. I visited those shrines too. And I know what it felt like to shove a blade into your Empress. But I don't know you. Who you are, and who you fight for. You're a mystery, and I can't allow that.
Here you are at last, in a ruined and drowning world, held captive by the man who killed your Empress, the assassin Dowd. Your friends poisoned you and dumped your body in the river. Did they do it to protect themselves, so no one would ever know what they'd done? Or was it because they were a single move away from controlling an empire, and they knew you'd never let them manipulate Emily? Maybe none of these. Perhaps that's just the nature of man.
Good evening and welcome back to Let's Play Dishonored. Betrayed yet again, stabbed in the back, at least figuratively this time. Used and disposed, as always. So yet again, just as from the beginning of the game, we're out from revenge. Just when we thought we were almost out. Alright, so we've been put into... For some reason they let us keep our mask, even though they took away all of our other equipment. They did not take away our mask, nor did they fail to compensate for the mark of the outsider that we clearly have, meaning that we can clearly get away, have powers to escape from here. If you have possession, you can possess one of those rats, and that'll give you an alternate way out through that pipe beneath us here. But if you do not, and you're like me, there's still luckily a way to get out. You have to pick up one of these bricks and chuck it at the wood after you've broken all of it. And for some reason, the assassins do not suspect a thing. So yeah, we were being held captive by Dowd and his gang of assassins. I'm not sure what the gang is actually called, what his assassin clan is actually referred to as. So I'll just be referring to them as the Assassins. There's a dead overseer in there. Now we have no sword. He's taken all of our equipment and dumped it in that tower over there. So we have a selection of different weapons we can pick up now. There's some notes here. A Dowd, note from Dowd regarding, or note to Dowd rather, regarding our bounty, Corvo's bounty, and the fact that they were looking for him. But they didn't recognize him as the, they didn't know that Corvo was the masked assassin, but now they know it's the same person. So there's an assassin's blade here, there's an overseer saber over here. Those are the other two swords we can pick up in addition to our own, and the I'm going to pick up this overseer saber here, and that's going to be my weapon of choice until I get my own sword back. It's pretty nice. All the swords behave differently, but it looks pretty cool. I'm not going to be killing anyone with it, of course, because this is a no-kills run. but it's just a nice other alternative. There's also the City Watch sword we got at the beginning of the game, and like I said, there's the Assassin's Blade. The Assassin's Blade is a lot shorter, and it also has like a serrated, almost like a nail file looking texture to it. It's pretty simplistic. I'm not sure why they choose to use such a simple design, but so now we got to get out of here and we got to get past the assassins. We have a new enemy type, the assassins themselves. They, just like any other guards, can be knocked out. They are, if you do not sneak by them though, and if you try to hit them in a straight fight, they are incredibly difficult to take down because they are very good in a fight, and they will not only block, but they will agilely dodge any of your attacks. So you really have to have the, even with the sword upgraded with the crossing swords ability, it's still very difficult to fight them. Of course, we won't have that right now, so if we're trying to take them on with this Overseer Saber, it's not going to go very well. So yeah, you really do have to cheat with your abilities or with your secondary weapons to be able to beat them in a straight fight. Attrition does work, and if you're patient enough and you block at the right time, you can overpower them, but they are so much better in a sword fight than any other enemy in the game we've fought so far. So this is the Flooded District, the dreaded Flooded District we've heard so much about throughout the game. The place that is completely destroyed, completely taken over by the Plague and the Weepers. And it's arguably one of the most depressing looking places in the city. There's an enemy over here called a River Crust. I think I've mentioned them before. They will launch these incredibly dangerous acidic projectiles at us, so we're going to avoid them. If I can blink over here, then I'll be able to get past them. There we go. Some Weepers over here. This level is affected a little bit by your level of Chaos, but the story of it really isn't, I don't think. There might be minor differences. There's a particular thing that happens later on that may be affected by it, but I'll go over that whenever it's relevant. First things first, we have to get our gear back. Now that we're in this section of the Flooded District, we can go back to that tower that we got dropped in on when we first got kidnapped by Dowd. And that's where our equipment will be. There's no assassins in this part of the level. There's just Weepers and River Crusts. And the assassins control this entire area, so they're the only actually, conscious sentient enemies we'll be able to fight. So that's kind of nice, actually. We don't have to worry about avoiding them. So we need to get all the way up there. Dowd is actually voiced by Michael Madsen in this game, and he does a phenomenal job. Sounding really creepy and also pretty badass as well. He's by far one of my favorite characters in this game. And you actually play as Dowd in the two DLCs, two DLC campaigns rather in this game. There's 3 technical DLCs, but I've yet to play those actually. I do have the Game of the Year edition, but it's actually my PS3 copy. So I've not gotten around to playing that yet. I wanted to finish this Let's Play before I even touched the DLC, so my knowledge of the campaign was not intertwined with my knowledge of the DLC campaigns. So right now I'm playing this completely ignorant of the DLC campaigns. There might be some knowledge about the plot that I'm unaware of because it's only explained in those campaigns, and if that's true, I'll correct myself whenever I get around to playing them. So right here I just had to put a whale oil canister in this machine right here, and it causes this whole staircase to flip over and come down to where we can actually walk up the stairs. That seems like an incredibly overly elaborate contraption for such a antiquated technology, don't you think? Right here, underneath of this collapsed staircase is I think it's a bone charm, I believe. Again, refer to your heart for such knowledge. I will not be collecting them in this run. We just have some tricky platforming to do before we can get in there and get our gear. Now, I'm pretty sure the other objective you have here, you can do these in any order you want. You don't have to come here first. But your other objective is to go and confront Dowd, because he has the only means of getting out of here. He is our target essentially for this level, much how like the Pendletons or High Overseer Campbell or even the Lord Regent were in the previous levels. Dowd is our target for this mission. But I don't think it's actually necessary for you to get your equipment in order to move on. And in fact, I'm not even 100% sure that... I mean, if I was trying to cut down on time, I'd probably skip all of this just because I'm not going to kill him. So it's like, I don't need my equipment for the rest of the game, really. I don't use it. I mean, I only use the sleep darts. I don't need, you know, grenades or anything like that if I'm not going to kill anybody. So I could just leave it all there, I guess. But I want my sword. My folding blade is mine and mine alone. And I need it by my side, even if it's just for good luck. The real reason is just to show it off for the sake of the Let's Play, showing off how to get in here. Maybe I'll do it off screen in the High Chaos run or something, because you guys already know how to do it. But I imagine speedrunners just skip this entire area altogether. A lot of loot over here. It's just stuff that give you money and some notes. Yeah, the masks that the assassins wear, I'm not really sure the significance of them. They look like gas masks, which I suppose makes a lot of sense. This is the only use we're going to get out of this Overseer Saber, by whacking the crap out of those wooden planks up here. Well, we've been seeing those masks throughout the game, and it's kind of been foreshadowing to this. We even saw the assassins early on in the distillery district trying to find me, I guess. But they were just there of their own volition. It was just a coincidence. We just happened to ran into them, I suppose. I was thinking when I first saw them at the beginning of the game, when you first see Dowd assassinate the Empress, you almost assume that they're going to recruit Corvo to their Assassin's Guild or whatever, and that's how Corvo gets his powers and everything. But instead, they're rivals. They're adversaries. They do not want to cooperate in any way, shape, or form. Corvo has no allies, really. He is made only to be betrayed. Going forward, we trust no one except for ourselves and, well, Emily. And maybe Samuel. Samuel did save our ass after all. Can't believe we fell for the whole poison drink thing. Especially after all the crap we went through with the High Overseer. Pelton, that gutless coward. Alright, I can see my sword. Almost got it. Oh, come here. Oh, that's better. I'm making an achievement for that, of course.